In January of 1848, a carpenter named James Marshall noticed something unusual in the waters of the American River. Small metallic flakes shimmered beneath the current near a sawmill being built for John Sutter. The discovery seemed insignificant. It wasn't. Within months, news of gold spread across the continent, then across oceans, then across the world. And almost overnight, California became one of the greatest migration destinations in human history. Imagine the scene. A remote frontier at the edge of North America suddenly appears on maps, newspapers, shipping manifests, and in the dreams of millions. Farmers abandoned fields. Sailors deserted ships. Merchants liquidated businesses. Entire families sold everything they owned. They crossed deserts. They crossed oceans. They crossed continents. All for a chance to reach a place few could accurately locate on a map. California. By 1849, tens of thousands had arrived. By the middle of the decade, hundreds of thousands more would follow. Americans from the East Coast, miners from Chile and Peru, merchants from Europe, laborers from China, adventurers from Australia, fortune seekers from nearly every corner of the globe. The gold rush transformed California into one of the first truly global migration frontiers of the modern era. And in doing so, it established a pattern that would repeat again and again. Because people were not simply moving toward gold, they were moving toward opportunity. Gold was the first magnet, but it would not be the last. The same region that attracted miners in 1849 would later attract railroad builders, engineers, scientists, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, software developers, and eventually artificial intelligence researchers. Different century, different technology, same migration pattern. People moving across the world toward the possibility of creating a better future. The gold rush also created another pattern that still defines the Bay Area today. Capital, massive amounts of it. Some miners found wealth. Most did not. But merchants, suppliers, transportation companies, bankers, and landowners built fortunes supporting the ecosystem around the miners. Sound familiar? Because Silicon Valley would eventually operate the same way. For every startup that strikes gold, an entire network of investors, service providers, infrastructure builders, and institutions emerges around it. The technology changes. The pattern remains. San Francisco became the gateway. A rough port town rapidly transformed into a global commercial hub connected to Latin America, Asia, Europe, and the rest of the United States. Long before Silicon Valley existed, the Bay Area had already become a crossroads of ideas, money, talent, and ambition. The foundation of the future was being poured decades before the first semiconductor was ever manufactured. But the story was not entirely triumphant. The gold rush generated immense wealth. It also generated immense suffering. Native Californian communities experienced displacement, violence, disease, and population collapse. Anti-foreign mining laws targeted immigrants. Environmental damage reshaped rivers and landscapes. The same forces that created opportunity for some imposed devastating costs on others. Understanding the gold rush means understanding both realities. The prosperity and the price. The innovation and the exclusion. The promise and the paradox. Because the Bay Area's story has always been more complicated than success alone. And that complexity remains part of the region's identity today. Bay Origins Connection. When people think of Silicon Valley, they often begin the story with Stanford University, or Hewlett-Packard, or Fairchild Semiconductor. But the deeper origins stretch further back, long before venture capital, long before semiconductors, long before the internet. The gold rush established the first version of the Bay Area's defining equation: global talent, risk capital, infrastructure, ambition, and the belief that the future could be different from the present. The technology would change. The mindset would not. Which raises the question that sits at the heart of Bay Origins. Why did it happen here? Perhaps the answer begins not with silicon, but with gold. The innovator's ledger. Lesson 1. Opportunity attracts talent. People rarely migrate toward certainty. They migrate toward possibility. The gold rush demonstrates that talent flows toward places where opportunity appears abundant, even when success is far from guaranteed. Modern founders should ask, Is our company creating opportunity powerful enough to attract exceptional people? Lesson 2. Ecosystems often matter more than products. Most miners never became wealthy. Many suppliers did. The lesson is simple. The largest opportunities are often created by supporting an emerging ecosystem rather than participating directly in the rush itself. Lesson 3. Growth creates consequences. Every period of explosive growth produces winners and losers. Successful leaders understand that innovation carries responsibilities as well as rewards. Ignoring those consequences doesn't eliminate them. It simply postpones them. Founders question: the gold rush attracted people from every corner of the world because it offered the possibility of a better future. What opportunity is your company creating that would inspire someone to cross the world to be part of it?